Good morning and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I both invite and encourage you to walk with me on the road to wisdom. Come on, y'all. Let's walk. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday morning, December the 18th, and it is one week before Christmas, Christ's birthday, and it's going to be a good day for believers and non-believers as well because children are going to be losing their mind when they get their new toys, bicycles, Xbox, PlayStation 5s, whatever the case may be, whatever you want. Usually that's the time of the year if you've been naughty and you've been nice if you've been nice but not naughty, that you're going to get the presents that you want and the presents that you probably earned and deserve. I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone that's watching my channel. If I don't see you personally, if you're in my neck of the woods, and if we are friends on YouTube, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and yours, and I hope that you have many, many more Christmases. Today we're going to go ahead and get into it. As you can see right here, today's topic is keep a cool head. Keep a cool head. Never lose your cool if you can help it. Now, there are going to be sometimes you're going to lose your cool, but in most of the times, if you have self restraint, self control, always try and keep a cool head. And of course, the definition of a cool head is not easily worried or excited. I want to say it again. Cool headed is not easily worried or easily excited. Today's scripture comes from the book of First Peter, the fifth chapter, the eighth to the ninth verse, and it reads as follows: Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. I'm going to say that one more time. First Peter, the fifth chapter, the eighth to the ninth verse, it reads, Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in the brethren that are in the world. Now I want to break that down and tell you what it means in just in simple terms, because sometimes the Bible, sometimes the words, and if we don't understand the language and stuff, but basically that's saying keep a cool head, stay alert. The devil is poised to pounce, and would like nothing better than to catch you napping. Keep your guard up. I want to say it again. Keep a cool head, stay alert. The devil is poised to pounce, and would like nothing better than to catch you while you're napping. Keep your guard up. We live in a world now that there are so many things that if you're a believer, and some things if you're not a non-believer, that will push your buttons, that will cause you to just say things that you don't necessarily mean, or once you said it, you can't take it back because you can't unring a bell. The Bible says there is life and death in the tongue. You have to be very careful. And now, the more older I get, the more in the leadership role I'm in now. Now that I've got a little bit more wisdom under my belt, a little bit more leadership abilities, and more conscious about other people's feelings, and seeing the other person's shoe, walking the other person's shoe, I try to be conscious of what I'm saying. And you have to really, really pray sometimes, because there are people out there that just will push your buttons to no end. And I'm telling you, it'll make you snap before you know it. And I have to really watch myself. I am very conscious. I'm trying to watch myself more so than ever. There was a time when I didn't care. If you said something, I was striking just like a rattlesnake. And now, after being saved and now trying to be a better version of myself, I try to make sure that I choose my words when it's a serious situation, when someone really needs help or something, or someone is asking for my opinion. I want to give them the best opinion I can, but I also want to be truthful with them. But I also know I got to keep a cool head whenever there are situations that push my button, and when people just do things to seem for the sake of aggravation. And one thing I know about the truth: if you want the truth from somebody, three ways you're gonna get the truth. If someone is drunk, they're gonna tell you the truth because they have no inhibitions, and they're just gonna say what they're gonna say, and that alcohol loosens up their tongue. So if you want to hear the truth a lot of times, and I'm not saying that you go get somebody drunk. But I'm just saying that a lot of times when someone is drunk in a situation in a social setting, and they start talking, and if there's a secret, and that sucker gets relaxed, and that individual gets relaxed, and they start drinking, and things start saying, and they get provoked or something, and things start coming out. That's a lot of times things come out when somebody's drunk because they don't have any inhibitions. They don't have that filter. They don't have that restraint because alcohol just loosens up their tongue, loosens up their inhibitions, and they're going to say what they're going to say. So a lot of times you want to hear the truth about a certain situation. Someone that drinks, you'll get it from them. Someone is mad, someone is angry. The second way, someone is angry and pissed off. Someone has been holding something in for a long time. Then you finally push that button, and they finally had enough, and they said, "The heck with it." You're gonna get a dose of the truth. Things they've been holding in for a long time because they want to spare your feelings, or because you were friends, or because you're in a certain position. But when an individual gets to that point where he or she says, "I don't care," it doesn't matter, the heck with it, and you ask them, they're going to hit you with some blows you might not want to hear. So that's the second way. And the third way is, that I've seen in my experience, if someone is morally fear of dying, they're going to tell the truth. They want to try and get right, but they want to try and set the record straight. Those three situations, you're going to find somebody. If someone found they're definitely ill, that someone they're dying and stuff, they want to get that off their conscience. They want to have a clean slate, so to speak. So in them three situations, you're going to get the truth from somebody. And when you get that truth, it's up to you whether or not you keep a cool head about it. Because sometimes the truth hurts. And just because you know the truth, and just because someone asks you to tell them the truth, in certain situations, your truth can hurt. It's all about what a video I did last week about timing. Timing is crucial. And a lot of times, just because you know something, just because you can do something, just because you can say something, doesn't mean you have to. Sometimes you have to rely on timing. Sometimes when something needs to be said, maybe not the person that do it, or maybe you are the person that do it, but pray for God for timing. Pray for it to be delivered, or be delivered in a way that can be digestible, digestible by the individual that the truth needs to be told to. Because sometimes you tell somebody the truth in anger, you tell somebody when it's drunk, it can cause more damage than good. And I don't think God is in the damaging business. He's not. He's in the business of trying to help people, but He also gives us common sense. He also gives us compassion. And if you add common sense and compassion, then and sprinkle over tact, the word tact over that, on the top of that, then you're gonna look for a perfect time to tell somebody, or you're gonna look for a way. Maybe there's not gonna be a perfect time, but you look for a way to deliver something. It's also a lot of times people can accept things when it's delivered in the correct way, with the correct temperament, with the correct amount of compassion. Not in front of a group of people by themselves, or somewhere where they can talk to you one on one. You say, "Look, I need to talk to you something, but I need you to really listen to me, and take in what I'm about to tell you, and just kind of feel your way through it." I think if you really are sincerely trying to help someone, that God is going to place that timing on your heart. God is going to give you a cool head, because what the truth may be, how you found out about the truth, may be something that's going to want you to possibly lose your anger, lose that cool head that you need to have, but never, ever, ever do things in anger. Because when you do things in anger, a lot of times you're going to mess it up. And a lot of times you are going to say something hurtful or spiteful, or say it in a way that's hurtful and spiteful. It's going to defeat the purpose of you trying to help that individual because you're hurt. Always keep a cool head. One thing as a leader, I try not to talk to someone that I'm supervising when they've done something that has made me extremely angry. Because when I'm extremely angry, I tend to say things that I cannot say, because people are going to remember how you treat them. They're going to remember what you say to them and how you say it. And they may not remember what all the good things you did before that. They're going to remember that one bad way, or that one bad thing you talked to them, or how you talked to them, or how you said it. They're going to hold that, and it's going to be a long time before they can ever get past that, if they get past it at all. So you got to be careful how you say things. When things anger you, keep a cool head. Always pray for a cool head. One thing that makes me angry, and I'm trying to work on it, is repetitive. Talking to someone, telling them the same thing over and over again. I give you an example. An individual coming to the office and he asks for a particular video or something, and I tell him the rules of how you can get a video or how you can't get a video. And then the individual says, well, I really need this. And then you tell them the correct legal way to get that video. They choose not to do it. They still want to call somebody else, try and call another officer, or try to go above your head and stuff. And you're like, look, I'm not trying to be difficult, but there are certain rules, there are certain laws that we have to follow. Once you do what I tell you to do, instruct you to do, and you get that correct paperwork or get that correct permission from the individual, I'd be more than happy to give you what you want. But there's certain ways you got to do it. And then you tell them over and over and over certain aspects of the law. And this one thing that I'm really working on for my anger. I went to the academy in 1995, graduated sometime, I think September, but I went in June of 1995. Graduated, I think it was 12 weeks later. I'm not sure the exact time, but anyway, 28 years later, I'm still in law enforcement. So I think in 28 years of time, I'm not saying I know everything about law enforcement, but I know a great deal about law enforcement. I know things you can't do, things you can do, certain avenues you have to take, certain avenues you can't take, the way you need to do this, the way you need to go about doing that. Some people, they'll watch a TV show and swear they know everything that law enforcement knows. That would be like me going into the doctors. I watch ER, I watch whatever doctor show it is, The Good Doctor, and I see all these things you do with the scalpel and the suction and all this kind of stuff. And I go into an operating room and say, hey, I can do this because I've seen it on TV. No, it don't work like that. You have to go, you have to do your time. You have to go through the class. You have to do your hours. You have to put in your on-the-job training. You have to go through several calls. You have to go through call after call after call. You have to write ticket after ticket after ticket. You have to write warrant after warrant after warrant. You have to write search warrant after search warrant after search warrant. Repetitive. And still you don't know all aspects of it. There are still questions now, 28 years later, I don't know. But some of these individuals that we have to deal with come into your workplace and try to tell you about your job. And that is one thing that I have to really pray about not keeping a cool head about, because first time I'm cool with it. Second time I'm cool with it. When it starts third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time in some instances, I'm kind of warm after that sixth and seventh time. And sometimes, and I'm still praying on it and I asking for forgiveness, I will lose my cool. I'm trying to get better with that, because my supervisor, my sheriff, he is awesome with it. He can keep his cool, and he's the diplomat and stuff. I'm trying to learn from him because he's an excellent leader. But there's just some times when it just, look, I've done tried to help you numerous times. I've done told you 6 ways of Sunday how to do this, and you still trying to tell me how to do my job, and you hadn't spent one day in the law enforcement field. That'd be like me trying to tell someone who's a contractor or a brick mason how to lay bricks or how to build a house, or an electrician how to wire a house, or a painter how to paint the house, or a chef how to cook. It's crazy. It's ludicrous, because I haven't done the things they've done to become professionals at. In the same token, you or some of the general public hadn't done anything, hadn't spent one day in an academy, in a law class, and nothing. But you come here and try to tell individuals like myself and law enforcement that you know the law, you know this, you know that. Well, I'm just saying, got to keep a cool head, because we are here to protect and serve, and I try my best to protect and serve. But sometimes, like I said, at the 7th and 8th time, I'm trying to get better and not losing my cool and keep a cool head. So please pray with me on that. Another thing that helps, that pushes the button a little bit, entitlement. A lot of people feel entitled now for some reason. I don't know why. That they got to do this, or they come first, or we got to do this, or we got to do that. Look, we are here to protect and serve. But there are some instances where we can't act as quickly as you want us to act, because the law does not allow that. Criminals don't have to follow the law. They break the laws all the time. Guess what? Law enforcement, we have to follow the law. The good officers that want to keep a career instead of jail have to follow the law. We have to keep a cool head. We can't let our emotions get the best of us, because when we start letting our emotions get the best of us, that's when corners are cut. That's when false tickets are written. That's when false warrants are being signed. That's when you see somebody on 6 o'clock news And I guarantee you, I'm not going to be on the 6 o'clock news for doing anything crazy. I'm going to keep a cool head. And if I can't do it, I'm going to tell you I can't do it. But just because you know Sally Sue, or you're the friend of Judge this, or you're the friend of Sheriff this, you're the friend of Chief this, you feel entitled. It doesn't work that way. Entitlement gets you nowhere in a law enforcement agency that's about the business of being just and fair. But we live in a society now that is entitled. They want what they want, how they want, when they want, and it just don't work that way. So that's another thing that can individuals can cause you to lose your cool, lose your head, because they come in with a sense of entitlement, and it just doesn't work that way. Another thing, ungratefulness. When you do something for somebody and they just say thank you just for because it sounds like it's the right and the correct thing to do, but their actions show they're not grateful, that really heats me up. Um, and I have a family member that to me sometimes does not seem grateful, and it heats me up. And I'm praying on that, and I'm going to continue to pray on that because I really love this individual. But sometimes ungratefulness can really be a push, can push your button and make you lose your cool. But my prayer game is getting strong because I can feel myself getting angry. I get in my truck, I come in my man cave where I'm in now, and I will just pray and just cool down because if I say what I want to say, how I want to say it, when I want to say it, then that relationship will probably be damaged for a while, and I don't want that. As the spiritual leader in my particular house, I'm trying to get all of my family under the same umbrella, and it would be a disservice to what I'm trying to be about, what I'm trying to do, to let my emotions get the best of me. I have to keep a cool head. I have to realize that um, Danny can't say that. God would not be pleased if Danny said what Danny wanted to say. I have to put myself in a mindset, have to put myself in a position to keep a cool head and to do what God wants me to do. Um, I remember a story in the Bible where Jesus was bothered by the merchants that was in the temple, and they were trying to prevent the people from praying. I think trying to charge money or something to that effect. And he went in there and he just kind of wrecked house, man. He wrecked shop on these bad boys because they were not doing what was pleasing. Now the Bible doesn't say specifically that he was angry, but he fashioned things like whips and stuff, and he really tore up the merchants up and ran them out of there. And I don't know the exact scripture, but if you're angry for a righteous reason, then God does not have a problem with that. And a righteous reason, in my opinion, if you see somebody is just beating somebody up, domestic violence, or someone that's trying to out here and to scam these old people and the elders of the community and just taking them for thousands and thousands of dollars, that's a reason to get angry, and that's the way, and that's the reason when we should use the powers that we have for good and not trying to use them for self. When law enforcement sees that, whatever kind of law we have at our disposal, we should try and do that and try to help individuals as much as possible because it's to me it's a very piss poor individual that's going to come out here and scam these old people out of these thousands and thousands of dollars. And these people can't survive. See, people don't have enough money to eat, don't have enough money to pay the bills, and then you come in there calling them and then making them do all this crazy stuff and jump through hoops and tell them go get this kind of credit card, go get that credit card, and go get that kind of gift card, and scratch off the back and send numbers and just tell them that they won this money and they got to pay this fee for this and this fee for that. And then they'll come back and circle around and say, oh, it was a scam, but we can help you get your money back. And that's a scam on top of a scam. So they're giving these people a double whammy. So it's just, we live in a world now that Satan is just running them up, and things will make you lose your cool. But if you're a believer, and even if you're a non-believer, you got to keep it cool. Keep a cool head. That is the word for the day. That is the quote of the day. Keeping a cool head, because there are things out here in this world that if you let them, it will send you straight on a bad journey in life, and will keep you from reaching the goal. And the goal should be getting your soul right and getting to heaven. That should be your goal. Everybody's goal here is to live as best they can, put God in their life, have prayer and strong relationship and connection to God. And when if the final days are here, your name has been in the book of life, and you call to heaven, and God looks at you, and Jesus looks at you and say, "Well done." And you go into heaven, and you have a ball for the rest of eternity. That is the ultimate goal. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. That was my take on the and my thoughts on keeping a cool head. As always, I try to leave with a quote, and the quote of the day is, "No matter the situation, never let your emotions overpower your intelligence." I'll say that one more time. No matter what the situation is, never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. If this is the first time you ever seen me on this channel, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to ask you to please hit notification bell because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload here in the future. I'm also going to ask you to give me a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment. If you leave me a comment, I will definitely read it and respond back to you. And last but not least, please watch all my videos in their entirety from start to finish. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. I hope you have a fantastic day and a Merry Christmas. I will see you back here on Wednesday. Until then, have a safe day and peace.